You're listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, episode 38. Today, I am chatting with Sally Hendrick from Social Media Traffic School, and we are discussing all things Facebook ads and all of the little things that come along with marketing for online business owners. This is a definite must listen if you fear even trying marketing on Facebook, or if this just isn't your thing and you need some help. Sally gives some really great tips for us all, so make sure you're taking notes.
You're listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, where we believe business can be simple and you can use your intuition to run towards your goal. Self-made business and success coach Lindsay Maloney helps you start and scale your dream coaching business. With her step-by-step intuitive and creative guidance, you'll leave ready to put her tips into action, push your business forward, and work with your dream clients. Lindsay is here to help you get unstuck and structure your brilliance into a coaching business that's sustainable and financially exhilarating. Here's your host, Lindsay Maloney.
Before we get started with this episode, I want to talk to you about my program, Standout Coaching Academy, or SOCA as everyone calls it. It's a 90-day program that's going to help you book your dream clients. And this is perfect for you if you are a coach who is ready to create, launch, or scale your coaching business. If you want to fill your calendar up with dream clients who inspire you, and you want to make an impact in the world with work that you feel called to do, I want you to enroll in SOCA. SOCA is an extremely powerful program that will take your coaching business to the next level. And I have 3 ways that you can join me right now, be a part of the 90-day program, join other like-minded women, network with them, learn the best ways that you can build your coaching business just the way that I've created and scaled mine, so you can stop having those sleepless nights with all the information overload and stop doing everything by yourself. So many coaches are struggling to get their businesses started, and I want that to stop right now. So I'm inviting you to go to standoutcoachingacademy.com, check it out, and enroll. Sally, thank you so much for being a guest on the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. I'm super excited to get to know you more and to share you with our audience because I love what you do. I've been stalking you online since we had you on the calendar. So why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone?
Thank you so much for having me here, Lindsay. My name is Sally Hendrick. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I am a Facebook ads expert. I not only help clients, especially coaches and consultants, with their Facebook ads, I also teach and coach Facebook ads so that they can learn how to do it on their own.
This is something that is a much needed, and I love your niche. You're with, MySpace, which we can do all of those things on our own, like running our own Facebook ads, but it can get really overwhelming, definitely, especially when you're just starting. Like you have responsibility over every little piece in your business. And a lot of times people kind of hold off on getting into the Facebook ads because it's really complicated and it feels like it's always changing and it's very intimidating to get into. So how come you decided to get into something that is, to me, high stress? But what was your draw into Facebook ads?
Well, my background is I was an actuary and statistician for 25 years. So I'm used to the complicated and the complex when it comes to software and numbers and statistics and all of that. So that's why I got into it. I really liked it.
Well, you're perfect for that then, if you have a strong background. And
Mm-hmm.
I admire people who can really dig into the data in the Facebook Ads Manager and kind of look at everything and see how they can use what they have and make it work for them. But like I said, it's really intimidating to get into. So do you work with clients who are just starting, or like they don't have any clue how this goes, or do they tend to hand it over to you after they've done it and it's not their thing?
Usually people have tried Facebook ads and failed miserably, and they don't like to admit it. But then they come to me and they know that they work if you have somebody that can help you work them properly. So that's typically what happens with people, is that they'll try it first and then they end up saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to hand this off to someone else, or they decide to come and learn.
Okay, so what are the common reasons people feel like they, I'm putting in quotes, fail at Facebook ads, or what are their common struggles when they come to you?
Typically, they try to put their sales ads out there trying to get people to enroll in an offer, and that's too soon. They don't, just because you know how to target the right audience on Facebook does not mean that they're going to buy from you, because you're an unknown. And the struggle that people have is that they don't realize that they've got to do a lot more ads in front of that to raise awareness about who they are, what their story is behind why they do things, case studies, things like that. And that's what will draw people in so that they get to know you a little bit better before you go and try to create an offer for them to buy.
Right, because I feel like when people are going through social media, their main priority isn't, I'm going to go on Facebook, I'm going to go on Instagram and look for something I can buy, right? They're looking just for, they're out of boredom, or when something catches their eye, something free, like something to warm people up, correct?
Yes, definitely. But even in front of the free stuff, you need to be doing things that are just stories, that are just social, that look like status updates on your business page, because people will then start to warm up to you because you're not asking them even for an email address at that point.
Okay, so that's a really important thing to talk about. Can we dig into that a little bit more? Because I feel like this is a big missing piece in when people get into marketing. I want to know, give me like a few tips on what you can give people right now if they're struggling with this, but they still they're scared to hand it off to somebody to take over for them, but they know how powerful Facebook ads marketing is. What could be some action steps that they could take that would help them today?
Well, think about all of that content that a lot of people put on their personal pages where they're just offering value and just trying to connect with people. The mistake that they're making on their personal profiles is that they're not putting it on their business pages where people can be tracked, the ones who are following you, the ones who are engaging with your content. It's really important to put all of that on your business page too, so that when you track them, you can then remarket to them, and that's when you send the freebie offer or this free download or this free audio series or whatever it is that you're doing.
That's a really great tip. So you're saying stop promoting your business on your personal page alone and use your business page to its full capacity.
Yes, definitely. That a lot of people just say, well, it's crickets over there, and it may be crickets over there, but it will eventually start to pick up, especially if you put a little bit of money behind the posts that do well.
So do you suggest when Facebook says, hey, you could boost this post and get this many more people seeing it, do you suggest people do that when that pops up?
It depends. Now, what it depends on is, have you set up audiences already inside your Facebook Ads Manager? So I think that you need to boost posts from inside Ads Manager. There's a lot more options that you have. You have more options with the audiences you can select. You have more budget options, more placement options, placement being whether it goes out on Facebook or Instagram or the Audience Network, which is other apps on your mobile phones. So I think that you need to be a little more sophisticated with it and not just be tempted by that blue boost button.
Yes, because that button is so tempting because it gives you like, this could happen and all you have to do is click here, and then you got to get in and do a little bit of work. And if you haven't set up any audiences or tested anything, it's just going to be money thrown out the window.
Exactly.
So that gets into another struggle I remember having when I first started doing Facebook ads is the audience. That was something that I always tripped up on, is because I think this was one of my biggest mistakes, and maybe you see this in your space. I was marketing my Facebook ads to a ton of different audiences all in one ad set, and that wasn't giving me any information. I think number one, the biggest mistake is probably not setting up a pixel. And then number two is grouping everything all under one thing. Is that something, am I just unique and not in doing something that silly, or do you see that happen a lot?
I see that happen a lot. People are trying to put too big of an audience out there that you're testing your ads on. You need to separate things into a little bit smaller pieces. And also there's something called the narrow audience feature. And when you narrow your audience, it means that you're taking the larger audience you've selected in one box, interest box, and then you're narrowing it down by some other interest or traits of the clients that you're trying to reach. And that will help you to form a subset of people who are more likely to, move forward with your content.
Can you give us an example of that? Like, let's say you are promoting ads in front of Amy Porterfield's audience. How can we narrow that down?
Well, Amy Porterfield has a huge audience on Facebook, as we all know, but that doesn't mean that her entire audience is right for you. What if you're just going for life coaches in particular instead of business coaches and companies and whoever else happens to have come across Amy Porterfield? If you take Amy Porterfield's interest group and then you narrow it down by life coaches, you would get the life coaches who also like Amy Porterfield.
I love that, because that's such a smart idea. So that's another mistake a lot of people can make, is just going with the one and not narrowing it down a little bit, because it seems like Amy Porterfield's audience has a lot of beginners too. Because I remember she was one of the first people I listened to. Well, I still listen to her, so I'm a different person now than I was back then. So we got to narrow it down, even to interests that they like. Maybe they like MailChimp or ConvertKit, like those strategies. Just think about that person and make a list of everything that they could be interested in. Is that an exercise you recommend doing with your clients when you work with people? Do you kind of dig in pretty deep into their interest levels?
Oh, yes, definitely. That's one of the first things that I do with clients is I have them fill out a survey that I then get and I analyze it and go over it with them on our strategy call.
Do you recommend people kind of revisit that list as they grow their business? Because I feel like, that can always change. Our business evolves. So I feel like revisiting that would be helpful.
Oh, yes, definitely. And it's also good to get yourself in front of more audiences and you'll learn more and more as you go who your ideal client is. I have to say that, my first description of my ideal client is not what it is today. And I've been doing this for almost 6 years. So definitely revisit that. But one thing that you have to also understand is that if you do put the Facebook pixel, that piece of code on your website, the people that come to your website will naturally become more and more of your ideal clients. And so your pixel gets seasoned in that way. And when your pixel gets seasoned that way, it makes it easier for Facebook to find those right audiences for you, so you're not guessing.
Yeah. And I feel like that is a great thing to keep in mind, is having that pixel set up so it can be working for you. It's not something that you need to have and it's, dead in the water. It's always evolving. And like you say, it keeps getting seasoned with the people that are visiting your site and spending time with you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what are some other things that you find that people are struggling with Facebook ads that you wish you could just wave a magic wand and help everybody?
I have to say that probably the type of content that is right for the timing with the ideal clients that you're attracting. So let's say that you are first talking to them. This is where you talk about the why behind your business, the stories. People are interested more in engaging with fun, entertaining or educational content at the beginning. Then when you retarget them, you are sending them more into the how you do business, how you solve problems, how you can help them. And then the last one is what you have to offer. And so you have to make sure that the content you're putting out there through each phase of advertising matches with the audience that you're sending it to.
Right, because otherwise, again, you're just throwing money away. And I think there's more to it than just setting up the ad creative and the copy. You have to have that working for you. So having, a funnel implemented in your email service provider that's doing the work for you and taking your subscriber through a journey and warming them up. And I think that's way more successful in getting a sale than having a Facebook ad going directly to a sales page.
Exactly. You have to go through those phases and warm people up.
Definitely. So why don't you tell me about, I'm looking at your website now, a social media traffic school. I'm looking at that. Tell me more about that.
Well, social media traffic school, I used to teach a whole lot more than just Facebook ads. And I decided to really focus in on Facebook ads because that seems to be where I shine. And when I was trying to teach, how to create your offers and all of those other things, it became too much to keep up with in my courses. And, you have to update your material all the time. So
Yes.
I've decided to make all of my free material the stuff that I used to teach. And I have a free classroom where I teach something new every week to potential clients. And then when they're ready for Facebook ads training, that's when they can come to me. And that's what Social Media Traffic School is all about.
I love that. And that is a hybrid of a warm up because they get to get new content with you. They get to see you and hear you or whatever, however you deliver it. That's a very powerful way for people to get to know you.
Yes, definitely.
So if people are curious as they're listening, they're ready to hand off their Facebook ads or they're ready to learn more about how to get Facebook to work for you, how can they learn more about what you do?
Well, they can go to socialmediatrafficschool.com and see the 3 different offers that I have. I do a strategy session with people that want to hand off the Facebook ads because I need to know where they are in their business. If they don't have some sort of freebie, if they don't have content already, then it's difficult to get started just straight into the Facebook ads. There's a lot more work that they have to do, and sometimes we have to find them, different consultants to help them get those things ready to go. And then if they want to do the course, I have just the course itself, but then I also have the best deal, which is a course and mastermind together where I teach in a group setting, but they also get the course to be able to go through all of the modules, and then I go over those modules in much more depth with them, and I am constantly doing case studies and support in the mastermind as well.
I love that you have a course because I think with this type of subject, your time involved with a client is probably a lot of teaching, and the course kind of gives them all the information and then they can come to you with any questions that they may have. So I think that's a powerful way for them to learn and then also get guidance, especially with how fast Facebook ads can change. I think it's important to have that person, that go-to person.
Yes, and I have my own masterminds that I'm in as well of other people who are teaching. So I am constantly getting new information to give to my students.
Yes, and that's very, very vital, especially in that space to have that new information. Because as a coach, I don't want to keep up with all of the new things that are coming up with Facebook ads. It's just too much for me. I don't have the interest level in it like you do, but I do know how powerful it is. So it's definitely something that I believe if you're a coach who wants to up level, or if you're launching soon, or you just want to build up more, build your list, investing in Facebook ads is a great way to go. And if you're not sure how to get started, or if you are intimidated, or you've had a bad experience, I think going over to Sally Hendrick to get some help would be a really great call.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Sally, do you have any other links you'd like to share with my audience so they can find more about you, or any freebies you'd like to share?
I do have a freebie if you want to put this down. It's Make fbyyouratm.com. It's like make Facebook your ATM, but it's make fbyyouratm.com. That's the name of the course, but that is the Facebook checklist that I offer to people for free. And then it goes into a video after that called the top 10 mistakes in Facebook ads that you can fix yourself.
That is a great freebie. So definitely go over to the show notes or go into the podcast page and download that, because that will give you a really great start. And we all want to know the mistakes we could be making, because instead of maybe learning too long with the mistakes, Sally will just point them out to you.
Yes, exactly. And the checklist helps to keep you on track to make sure that you're not forgetting something.
Okay, perfect. And can we find you on social media? What are your links for that?
Well, Facebook is facebook.com/social media traffic school. And LinkedIn, my profile is Sally Hendrick.
And are you on Instagram?
Yes, Instagram, it's go.sally.go.
I love it.
That's what my original website was Go Sally Go.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Sally. I absolutely loved having you. You gave some really great information.
Thank you. Thanks. I've loved being here.
Want 10 ways for you to start booking your dream clients? I created this workbook for you because I wanted to share my best tips on how I book mine. You're not going to believe how easy these are, and I know you'll be able to take my tips and put them into action ASAP so you can start working with your dream clients. To grab the workbook for free, all you have to do is go to lindsaymaloney.com/podcast. Hey coaches, are you a member of the Book Your Dream Clients community yet? Because you should be. Just go to dreamclientcommunity.com to request free access. We do fun things like website audits, challenges, and we even have a book club. Join the free Dream Client community now, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. If you want to find out more information how you can work with me, just head on over to my website, lindsaymaloney.com. You will be able to see how you can work with me privately or in a group setting. I'm all about helping you start and scale your coaching business, so I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes and leave a rating and review. And if you want bonus points, take a screenshot of a review and tag me on your Instagram story. I'd love to see it and share it with my audience. And plus, you don't want to miss another episode.